Hi, this is Dr. Dave, and in this video I want to give you a little bit of an introduction to the course you're taking with me, which is either Math 142 College Math, Math 172 Finite Math, or Math 212 Survey of Calculus. All of those courses run exactly the same way. The only thing that's different is the content in those courses. So let's go ahead and get to your course so you can get started on the first assignments. The first thing you're going to need to do is to go to Yavapai College's webpage. That's www.yc.edu. Once you get there, you're going to see a picture like this, a page like this, and you're going to want to go and click on the Login. You'll want to put in the username the college has assigned to you. That is typically your first initial and some letters in your last name. For me, it's D. Graser. And then you want to go ahead and put in your password. Click on the Login, and you'll be taken to a page like that. You'll know you're logged in when you see hello, whatever your name is. In my case, it says hello David. To get to your course, you have a couple different options. You can go ahead and click on the icon that you see right here, which will take us into our Canvas learning management system, and from there you can choose the course, or you can click on My Courses and go to the course that you're registered for. So I'm going to go ahead and click on My Courses, and then I'm going to pick out College Mathematics. This course works like any of my other ones, and I'm going to go to the Canvas homepage. So what you see in front of you is a typical page for my course. There are going to be a whole bunch of icons here. It'll say the name of your course up on top, and it'll have my contact info here in the middle. So you're going to want to be looking at things in Getting Started in Your Course, in Announcements, Course Calendar, and the MyLabsPlus button here. That gets you into your homeworks and quizzes and into your textbook. For most of you, you'll be starting in a Module 1. My college math students will be starting in a module on counting, and you'll be having an assignment from that that's due on Monday. So first off, let's go ahead and take a look at what's in the Getting Started in Your Course. So click on that icon. And what that's going to do is take you into the modules for the course, and the Getting Started module is Module 0. And inside of that, you're going to see a number of different pages you can go to. And the very first one here is kind of my 10-minute look at what's in the course. Down below are a bunch of documents that are much more detailed, but for most of you, you'll probably be able to click on the course components and policies and then go ahead and read through here. There'll be a section on what's in the college mathematics syllabus or whatever course you're taking. It'll talk about the learning outcomes for the course. It'll talk about access to the textbook and things like that. It'll talk about down here the calendar for the course. After that, you'll see a section on course components, and that talks about logging into the YC portal, things like that. And then there's a section on grade components. And you'll see there are 5 grade components here: homework, quizzes, projects, a midterm, and a final exam. You're going to have lots and lots of homework assignments this semester, and they amount to 10% of your final grade. Now, those homework assignments are all done within MyLabsPlus, and the homework typically is the easier portion of what I ask you to do. It's just getting your feet wet with the concepts. Once you've completed a homework assignment with 75% or better, then you're ready to take the quizzes. And the quizzes are where you apply the concepts that you've been working with in the homework. Homework is always due on Mondays at 6 a.m. and quizzes are always due on Fridays at 11:59 p.m. In a typical week, you're usually going to have 2 homework assignments and 2 quizzes that go with that. You'll also be completing 2 projects in a team, and each one of those projects is 10% of your grade. About week 7 or week 8, you'll be taking a midterm, and then at the very end of the course, you'll be taking a final exam. So make sure you read through these things. Whenever you want more details, that's when you can go and click on the link up here, and that'll take you to the expanded version of the grade components. So we have general policies, and then there's some information here on the course plan, and this is just a small section of the course plan. It shows what the first module is. It talks about what's the learning outcome for the first module. We'll have weeks 1 and weeks 2. It'll tell us what we're doing in each one of those weeks, the names of the sections that we're covering in the textbook, and then over here, the weekly objectives. And these things are what we're trying to learn, and typically your quizzes are really going to focus you in on these things. So go ahead and look through all of these pieces. And like I said, if you need more detailed information, that's where you'd want to go ahead and click on something like this. And that would take you to the actual syllabus for the course. So let's go ahead and click on the Home button again. And that takes me back to our home page for the course. If we click on Announcements, you're going to see there's a couple announcements that have been made for the course. There's a welcome announcement here, and that's probably a good thing to go take a look at, because that welcome announcement is going to tell you exactly the things you need to do this week. On this Friday, you need to have your course quiz finished and your course survey. On Monday, you need to have the homework that's due. If you're in Math 142, that's one section of homework. If you're in Math 212, that's one section, but Math 172 is doing 2 sections this week. It talks a little bit more about the course just to get you started, and there'll be more announcements coming up through the rest of this week. There's also an announcement that says, "Can you hear me now?" And this announcement is designed to get you a Google account that's attached to your YC email. The first part of this talks about how to do that. If you scroll down, once you've gone ahead and taken care of that, then there is a link at the bottom here to a course survey. This course survey has information that's designed for me to help me assign you to a team that you're going to work well in. It asks about your first and last name. It talks about whether you are a leader or a follower. It talks about what's your availability outside of class, and also the town that you're taking the course from. At the very end, once you've filled it out, go ahead and click Submit, and that'll send me off some information, and I'll be able then to look at that stuff. So let's go back up to the home page here. One of the most important things in the course is the course calendar. And if we go ahead and click on the course calendar, you'll see there's lots and lots of things on the course calendar. Typically on Sunday, you'll see that there's a little link here that'll tell you exactly what we're going to be covering for that week. So here it talks about introducing the class and covering section 12.1. If there are face-to-face versions of your class, they'll be listed here. A lot of you are in my online courses, but if there is a face-to-face version, you're always welcome to join those courses. And it also talks about when my office hours are. So for this week, you can see that there is the course quiz that's due, and also the course survey. And then down on Monday, there's an assignment that's due. And that's the one section that I talked about for Math 142. If you look forward here, you're going to see either in week 7 or week 8, there's a midterm scheduled. So if you're taking the online course, the midterm is going to be scheduled for Tuesday through Thursday of that week. You're required to take it in a proctored environment, so that may be a YC testing center. If you take it there, it's free of charge. Otherwise, you may have to use a testing center at another community college, at a military base. Some public libraries will administer tests for you, but you and I will have to work together if you're going to take it at some place other than a YC testing center. If you're in a face-to-face section, then you're simply going to go ahead and take that exam on either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when your class is scheduled. So many students want to know, okay, where are the things that I have to learn? Well, for this week, the main thing that I want you to start out with is Module 0, which is the Getting Started part. And I've already showed you that part. After that, you're going to want to come down into Module 1 for your course. In this class, Module 1 is on counting. And that will take you into the modules and open up Module 1 here. Typically, you'll see there's an introduction where it tells you a little bit about what you're going to be doing. And it also, at the end of it, has the course plan for that. You can choose to go to the next page, or you can back up and then go down to week 1. So if you look in week 1, there's a little bit of background information, but then it's going to say, okay, review the information about the course in Module 0. One of those things include the information you see here in Module 0. You're also going to want to review the student code of conduct. And once you've done that, you'll be ready to take the course quiz. You can go ahead and click on the link here, or you can go through the home page and do that. And I'm actually going to show you how to do that in a moment by going through the home page. For this course, they're doing an objective here out of section 12.1. And I'll show you how to get to the textbook in just a moment. That's in MyLabsPlus. In some courses, this is a link here that'll take you directly to the textbook. And typically, there's also a link here for a workbook. For the entire semester, you click on it, and it's going to open up a short workbook that has worked out examples and places where you can work out examples. Typically, there'll also be a link to a video, and then you'll see links down here to MyLabsPlus for the homework or the quiz that matches up with it. So what you're going to want to do is work week by week through these pieces that are in here, looking at the calendar, looking at what's here, so you make sure you stay on top of what you're supposed to be turning in. So let's go ahead and take a look at the MyLabsPlus link and see what's there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Home. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on the Homework, Quizzes, Textbook, Gradebook link. This is going to go ahead and open up a little window here, and it says Load MyLabsPlus in a new window. That's exactly what we want to do. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. So you'll see quite a bit of stuff here. The things down here are things that actually aren't available to you. I can see them because I'm an instructor. But what you will be able to see is a button for assignments, or maybe a button for homework and quizzes. There'll be a button for the e-text and a button for the gradebook. This gradebook is where everything in your course is stored, and when you click on it and it says your overall percentage is some number, that is your course grade. So here in the assignments button, or in the homework or quizzes button, whichever one your course has, you're going to see all the different assignments that are available to you. So if we click on the course quiz here, this goes ahead and opens up a page, and in a quiz, it's just going to say start the test and finish the test. So I'm going to go ahead and say finish the test. So it's going to go through a series of questions. There's 15 questions in it. And these are questions that you're going to find in the answers to in Module 0. So for instance, what percentage of your final grade is My Math Lab homework? Here you would go ahead and put in the correct answer. On a quiz, you have no access to help, and you need to go through and complete all of these. When you're done, you click Submit, and then it'll give you back your score. Now that's a little bit different from a homework assignment. A homework assignment is going to give you access to lots and lots of different help. So let me close this and open up a homework assignment. So when you do a homework assignment, it's going to show you all the different questions you can do. You can do them in any order. I'm going to go ahead and go to question 1. And you can navigate through these questions using the buttons up here. You can use the buttons down below, but it's going to give you a question. And if you need some help on that, you can always come up here to Question Help. Use the Help Me Solve This button, the View an Example, go to your textbook, or the Ask My Instructor button. I have over 140 students this semester. If you're going to click that Ask My Instructor button, make sure you've done these first 3 before you click that. Otherwise, I'm going to get so much email that I'm just not going to be able to get to it in a timely fashion. And my goal is always to try and get back to you in less than 24 hours. So you want to go ahead and click on the answer here. Say check it. And if you got it right, then you can go on to the next question. If you got it wrong, it's going to give you a couple opportunities to go through and get it correct. At any point, you can tell it to save it, and then you can go do something else and then come back later on. That's a little bit different from a quiz. In a quiz, you have to finish the entire quiz, say submit, and then it'll let you review it right away. And you should always review it immediately because it won't let you get back to that quiz if you go away from the quiz and you want to come back. So I click save, and now when I look down here, I can see it says I have this one correct. Anything I missed will have a red X there. Anything I haven't attempted will have nothing in front of it. Now remember, you have to get 75% or better on this homework before you can move on to the corresponding quiz. Now, if you do not get that 75%, well, that's not a big deal because typically at the beginning of the week, I'm trying to give you hints to get you through this homework the rest of the way. You can come back and work on this homework after the deadline. However, anything you complete after the deadline, you'll have 50% deducted from those questions. Now, that doesn't count towards your prerequisite. So for instance, if you did this entire homework assignment late, the best you could do is 50%. But as long as you have at least 75% correct, in that case you'd have 100%, well then you're fine, and then it'll open up that quiz for you to be able to do. If you're looking for the e-textbook in Math 142, the best way to get to it is right here. Click on e-text, and then you can go find the chapter you're working in. So for instance, we're working in chapter 12, section 12.1. It takes you to a page that looks exactly like the printed version. The only difference between the e-text and the printed version is the e-text has access to videos like these little icons that you see here. You'll see one at the beginning of the section, and some of the examples will also go ahead and have videos that go with them. Those can be very helpful, particularly if you're in the online class. Well, that's all I want to talk about for right now. I know that you're probably going to have more questions about the course, and as I get questions from you via email, I'm going to go ahead and try to return those. One of the things that might be helpful is when you are in our homepage here, everyone has access to these Zoom office hours. When it's office hours, the times that are posted up here, I'm typically sitting in my office and I have a product called Zoom open. If you click on this and download a quick little app, you can connect up so where I can see you over the camera on your computer and you can see me on mine, and we can share screens and do things like that. Some students find this really useful for communicating with me, and I can even set it up so you can communicate with other students in the class via these Zoom links. If you're trying to contact me outside of these office hours, you're going to need to email me ahead of time so I can make sure that I'm online at the same time you are. All right, well, that's a pretty good start for this week, probably more than you really wanted to listen to. But like I said, go ahead and send me email if you need some help, and you can always do that by going through this inbox over here on the left-hand side.